A woman's true examination of a man never ends. It is not a single moment of judgment, but a continuous observation, quiet, patient, and profoundly insightful. While a man often tests through words or arguments, a woman tests through silence, through subtle shifts in tone, through the thousand unspoken questions hidden behind her eyes. The truth most men fail to understand is this: the more you try to win her approval, the faster you lose her respect. A woman's heart is not moved by effort alone. It is moved by authenticity, by strength that doesn't demand validation. The moment she senses that your happiness depends entirely on hers, she begins to retreat. Not because she dislikes you, but because she instinctively desires a man who stands firm in his own world. Women do not desire to be possessed. They desire to be desired, deeply, but not desperately. There is a difference between admiration and neediness, between presence and pursuit. A woman can sense the energy behind your actions. She reads not your words, but your essence. Every silence, every pause, every reaction reveals who you are far more clearly than any promise you could make. When you lose your temper, when you react impulsively, she sees not passion, but instability. Her quiet moments are not random, they are deliberate. They are her way of asking, can you stay centered when the ground beneath you shifts? In those pauses, she is not trying to defeat you, she is revealing the depth of your self-control. For only a man who can master himself can truly be trusted with the heart of another. Respect, in a woman's world, is never claimed by loud words or declarations. It is silently awarded to the man who stays calm when tested, patient when provoked, composed when challenged. That composure is not weakness, it is command. Because the one who does not fall apart under emotional pressure earns both admiration and intrigue. A woman's perception is sharper than most men imagine. She may not speak of it, but she notices everything: the hesitation in your tone, the tension in your eyes, the insecurity in your laughter. She studies the energy you bring into the room, the confidence behind your silence, the purpose behind your actions. Her tests are not traps, they are invitations. Invitations to rise, to embody the stability she longs to trust, to become the presence she can surrender to. To truly understand a woman, you must understand this paradox. She does not seek perfection, she seeks strength. Not dominance, but direction. Not a man who controls her, but one who cannot be controlled by his own chaos. When you master your emotions, you become the calm in her storm. And in that calm, she finds both peace and desire. A woman's endless test is not a punishment, it is a reflection of her nature. She is drawn to the man who can remain still when she trembles, who can hold his ground when she tests his edge, who can love her without losing himself. Her test is not about power, it is about presence. And the man who understands this truth never competes for her attention. He earns her respect without asking for it. Desire for a woman is never constant. It moves like water, adapting, flowing, reshaping itself with time and circumstance. What she loves today may no longer touch her heart tomorrow, not because she is fickle, but because her emotions are alive, responsive, and ever-evolving. A woman's gaze is always searching upward, not for someone wealthier or more powerful, but for someone higher in energy, richer in self-awareness, deeper in emotional gravity. She is not drawn to men who stand still. She is drawn to those who grow, who evolve, who refuse to remain ordinary. Today you might be her king, and tomorrow, her silence may replace her admiration. Not because you failed her, but because you stopped rising. The moment a man stops challenging himself, he unconsciously begins to lose the woman who once admired his fire. A woman's love breathes in motion, it suffocates in stagnation. Her affection is not permanent, it is responsive. She desires the man who can make her feel both safe and uncertain at once, the paradox that keeps her emotions alive. Safety gives her peace, but uncertainty gives her passion. She doesn't want a man who makes her comfortable, she wants a man who makes her feel. The most magnetic man is not the one who offers her control, but the one who offers her depth, a space where she can lose herself and still feel protected. He is the calm that steadies her heartbeat and the storm that awakens it. He knows when to hold her close and when to step away, when to speak softly, and when silence should lead. A woman's love is like fire, beautiful, powerful, but never meant to be caged. She cannot be owned, only inspired. She does not stay because you promise her everything. She stays because your presence continues to challenge her spirit. She leaves when your energy becomes predictable, when she can read your every move, when the mystery dies. Forgetting to her is not weakness, it is wisdom. She can detach without remorse, because her nature demands renewal. A woman who has once loved deeply can also walk away quietly, not because she doesn't care, but because she refuses to stay where her soul no longer grows. And that is what most men fail to understand. They believe consistency alone sustains love, but to a woman, consistency without curiosity becomes monotony. She doesn't want endless attention, she wants endless discovery. She wants to see a man who can reinvent himself without losing his essence, who can remain familiar yet unpredictable, comforting yet thrilling. If you ever feel that her love is fading, ask yourself not what she has lost, but what you've stopped becoming. For a woman's heart is drawn not to permanence, but to progress. She is nourished by emotional motion, by the sense that her connection is alive and evolving. To keep her love, you must keep your depth. To hold her attention, you must hold your mystery. A woman will always chase the feeling of becoming, and the man who continues to become more than he was yesterday will never truly lose her. There is an invisible power that separates a man who attracts attention from one who commands respect, and that power is mystery. Mystery is not deception. It is depth. It is the quiet suggestion that there is always more to you than what meets the eye. A man who reveals everything too soon loses his gravity. He becomes predictable, and predictability kills desire. Women are not drawn merely to your looks, words, or status. They are drawn to your energy, the silent vibration that radiates from your presence. You can say nothing, yet your stillness can fill a room. You can smile once, and it can echo longer than 1,000 compliments. Every word you speak, every reaction you give, shapes how deeply she can feel you. The one who responds to every emotion, every message, every impulse, becomes easy to read. The one who knows when to hold back, when to remain quiet, when to smile and say nothing, becomes unforgettable. Mystery is the art of emotional economy, saying less, revealing little, but meaning more. It's about maintaining an inner world that she can sense but never fully enter. When she tries to read you and fails, her curiosity deepens. That curiosity becomes attraction, and that attraction turns into longing. A woman doesn't fall for what you tell her. She falls for what she feels when you say nothing. She falls for the space between your words, the calm in your reactions, the unshakable balance in your emotions. When you stay centered, you communicate something beyond language, that you are in control of yourself, and that control draws her in more than charm ever could. Never mistake silence for weakness. Silence, when used with awareness, becomes presence, and presence is power. It allows her to lean in, to wonder, to explore the depths she senses but cannot name. The more you explain yourself, the cheaper you become. The less you reveal, the more valuable you appear. Control is not about dominance, it's about direction. It is the quiet assurance that your emotions serve you, not the other way around. When you react to everything, you lose shape. When you remain composed, you become the shape she orbits around. Every time you stay calm in the face of chaos, every time you smile when provoked, every time you choose distance over drama, you rise in her perception. Not because you've played a game, but because you've mastered yourself. Remember this, attraction lives in uncertainty. It breathes through distance, mystery, and restraint. The moment she can fully define you, you stop inspiring her imagination. So don't give her all the answers. Let her keep guessing who you truly are. Because curiosity keeps passion alive, and mystery keeps love from turning ordinary. A man who owns his silence owns the room. A man who can stay calm under pressure owns her respect. And a man who can smile and walk away, without needing to prove his worth, owns her thoughts long after he's gone. True control is never loud. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand, and it doesn't seek to prove. It simply is, calm, centered, and quietly undeniable. Most men confuse control with dominance. They believe power lies in force, in leading every conversation, winning every argument, or setting every rule. But real power is subtler. It lives in stillness, in self-awareness, in the discipline of not reacting to every emotional wave that comes your way. A man who cannot control his emotions is a man who can be controlled by anyone who understands them. The world, and especially the woman beside you, does not respond to your words. It responds to your energy. When you stay grounded, when you hold your peace instead of chasing validation, you communicate something rare: certainty. Certainty is magnetic. It tells her, without a single word, that no matter what happens, you will not lose yourself. And that makes her feel something deeper than attraction. It makes her feel safe in your presence, even when you say nothing. Women notice everything, not in the surface details, but in the energy beneath them. She notices when your tone wavers, when your eyes reveal insecurity, when your words seek reassurance instead of expression. She also notices when your silence carries confidence, when your stillness radiates composure, when your detachment feels powerful instead of cold. Control isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about owning it. It's about feeling deeply, but choosing wisely. It's the ability to stand in the middle of chaos and remain unmoved, not because you don't care, but because you trust your strength. When a man reaches that level of emotional intelligence, he becomes something rare, an anchor in a world full of noise. A woman tests you not to destroy your calm, but to feel the strength behind it. Every silence, every delay, every question that seems designed to trigger you, is her way of measuring the depth of your presence. She doesn't want a man who reacts. She wants one who responds. Because reaction is impulse, but response is power. When you respond with awareness, you shift the dynamic. You stop being a participant in her emotional storm and become the calm center of it. That calm becomes control, not over her, but over the situation itself. And control built on awareness, not ego, is unshakable. The most powerful man in any interaction is the one who is least controlled by his need to prove something. The less you need to be right, the more right you become. The less you seek to impress, the more impressive you appear. The less you demand respect, the more naturally it is given. Remember, words may attract, but energy sustains. You don't earn loyalty by speaking perfectly, but by feeling unbreakably stable. She will forget your promises, but she will never forget how calm you remained when everything else fell apart. That's the essence of control, not manipulation, not resistance, but emotional presence. The man who commands himself doesn't need to command others. His stillness is enough. Because in silence, real power speaks. Every woman carries two worlds within her. One that she shows to the world, and another that she guards fiercely in silence. The world you see is polished, composed, and measured. The one you don't see is wild, instinctive, unpredictable. It is the shadow, and that shadow holds her truth. Her shadow is not darkness, it is depth. It is the part of her that feels too deeply, loves too fiercely, forgives too slowly, and moves on too quickly. It is where her contradictions live, the part that desires affection yet fears surrender, that craves stability but hungers for adventure. She wants safety and danger, tenderness and power, understanding and mystery, all at once. And when you think she's changed, she hasn't. You've simply met a new layer of her that your presence has awakened. Women do not change randomly, they reveal differently. Each stage of connection brings forth a side that was waiting for the right energy to surface. The shadow within a woman is not a flaw, it is her protection. It hides her vulnerability until she trusts that you can hold it. When she feels unsafe, emotionally or energetically, that shadow steps forward, taking charge, guarding her spirit from harm. This is why she can love you one day and distance herself the next. Her withdrawal isn't betrayal, it's survival. To understand a woman truly, you must learn to see both faces. The light that greets the world and the shadow that hides behind her silence. Most men only fall in love with the surface, with the version she allows. Few are strong enough to face the depth, the emotion she hides, the chaos she contains, the strength born from heartbreak. When her shadow surfaces, most men label it as mood swings or confusion. But that shadow is communication in disguise. It says, I want to trust you, but I need to know that I can. It tests not your patience, but your stability. It doesn't want dominance, it wants direction. Because her shadow calms only in the presence of grounded energy. Understand this truth. When she pulls away, she's not always leaving. Sometimes she's just watching. She's waiting to see if you'll chase her out of need or stand still out of strength. She's measuring the gravity of your calm. If you panic, she loses trust. If you stay centered, she feels safe. Her shadow is not your enemy. It is your mirror. It will show you the parts of yourself you refuse to face. If you crave control, she will challenge it. If you fear rejection, she will test it. If you doubt your worth, she will reflect it. Her emotional storms are invitations for your evolution. Do not try to fix her shadow, understand it. Do not try to silence it, hold space for it. Because the moment she feels seen in her entirety, the calm and the chaos, the light and the dark, she no longer needs to fight for safety. She relaxes. And in that moment, she offers something rare, trust without resistance. Every woman desires a man who can stand before her shadow and not flinch. The one who doesn't rush to rescue her or control her, but simply stands still and says, I see you. That man earns not just her affection, but her surrender. For surrender is never given to dominance. It is given to understanding. So when she becomes distant or unpredictable, do not react. Look deeper. You are not losing her. You are being invited to meet the real her. And the man who can embrace both her softness and her storm becomes the only one she truly remembers. Attraction is not a trick. It is an exchange, silent, invisible, and deeply human. It is the meeting of two energies, the grounded strength of the masculine and the flowing depth of the feminine. When these energies align, words become unnecessary. Connection begins to move on its own, like music, rhythm, tension, release, stillness. Real connection is not built on constant attention, promises, or explanations. It is built on presence, on how your energy feels when the world goes quiet. When she looks into your eyes, she doesn't seek the right words. She seeks a vibration, a feeling of safety wrapped in strength. She listens not to what you say, but to the energy you speak between your words. The feminine does not chase logic. She responds to energy. You cannot convince her through debate or persuasion. You can only move her through your emotional truth. When your energy is scattered, she withdraws. When it's calm and certain, she leans closer without understanding why. Her body and spirit recognize balance even before her mind does. Every interaction between a man and a woman is a dance of polarity. One leads not by force, but by direction. The other follows not by submission, but by trust. When the man knows his center, the woman feels free to move. When he loses his center, she instinctively takes control, not to dominate, but to restore balance. That is the essence of attraction, not control, not games, but energetic symmetry. Two souls, different in rhythm, finding harmony through awareness. You cannot hold a woman by chasing her. You hold her by being immovable in who you are. The moment you make her your need, the dance collapses. But when you become whole within yourself, she feels that wholeness, and it draws her without effort. The most powerful man is not the loudest, but the most grounded. He is not the one who demands attention, but the one whose silence commands it. He doesn't need to control, because his energy already leads. His calm becomes magnetic, his restraint becomes mysterious, his presence becomes unforgettable. And the most radiant woman is not the most perfect, but the most aligned with her emotions. She doesn't chase love, she attracts it through authenticity. Her power lies not in resistance, but in openness, not in hiding, but in allowing herself to be felt. When such a woman meets a grounded man, balance is restored, chaos finds direction, and direction finds grace. In the end, love is not a pursuit. It is an alignment. It is when two people stop performing and start being. When the man learns stillness, and the woman learns trust. when both energies stop fighting for control and start dancing in harmony. So remember, attraction dies when everything is known, but connection lives when curiosity never ends. Stay mysterious, but stay sincere. Stay calm, but stay alive. Let your silence speak, your presence lead, and your energy communicate what words never can. Because in the grand dance of love, the one who understands rhythm, not control, wins not the game, but the soul.